Sunday, anybody can win. So anybody can win on any given Sunday.
Absolutely. So another John we wanted to add, we asked you guys on Twitter for some fantasy questions. We're gonna be doing this almost weekly now. We're gonna be asking on Twitter and Instagram for you guys' fantasy questions and just anything you want to learn or just hear from us from our fantasy perspectives.
Yes, sir.
Our first question up. Listen.
It's a tough one. It said, first question: should I trade Christian McCaffrey and my second quarterback, either Baker Mayfield or Joe Burrow, for Devontae Adams and Kyron Williams? This is a tough one. Now, I don't really know your position in your league right now, and overall like where you stand. But just from a basic standpoint, I mean, you're looking to trade a Christian McCaffrey that's looking to return this week 10, return from his injury. He said that he's still good in practice, so avoiding any re-aggravation, he should be good. Like, he should be fine.
All right.
And a Joe Burrow and a Baker Mayfield that they've been having some good seasons. They've been
two pretty good quarterbacks.
Two pretty good quarterbacks that's been having a lot of production this year. You put them two for a Devontae Adams he's on an upward stick. I would say an upward tick with the Jets.
I would say they're finding their groove now.
Definitely finding their groove. Definitely getting his chemistry back with Aaron Rodgers and Kyron Williams, who's been, I think, a top 5 player this year in fantasy.
I think, like you said, I think it depends on the situation. If you're currently 2-7, right? 2-7, 3-6. You're looking for a spark.
I get this done. I get this done.
I think you do the deal. Like, and if you're 7-2, you're having a good season. You're just adding CMC to an already pretty good team.
Right.
I mean, you feel me? Like, he's been out for you. I'm sure you drafted him. So hopefully your season isn't going too badly. But if you're in a solid position where you can make the playoffs, I say you hold on to CMC because barring an injury, I believe we all think he's the best player in football or fantasy.
Fully healthy, he can be. He definitely has that potential to be. And we've seen that for many years. But, I mean, another thing from this question, I see that you have both Baker Mayfield and Joe Burrow. So trading the other really wouldn't hurt you that much. Mm-hmm. And then when you ship CMC, you get a Kyron Williams back who's been better. I mean, obviously, CMC hasn't been playing, but Kyron Williams has shown you this season that he could be a really productive quarterback. A really productive running back could potentially be a top 3 RB. I mean, after Saquon and Devon Achane, I mean, Kyron, he's in those talks too. So getting a workhorse like that eventually would boost you, especially if you have a 2-7 record. But you also get Devontae Adams, like we said, to find his chemistry with Aaron Rodgers. You can slot him into your lineup regardless of what receivers you have. Mm-hmm. He could be your wide receiver 1 if your receiving core not looking too crazy. Right. So overall, I would do this deal because, like I said, you would still have a Baker Mayfield or a Joe Burrow as your quarterbacks. But if I were you, try to get Baker in that deal so you can keep Joe Burrow because any fantasy team with Joe Burrow, Kyron Williams, and Devontae Adams, I don't know what position you would be, but you're looking to make a run, and you should be stacking some wins in weeks going forward. So I would do that deal, bro. Get that done. Get that done for sure.
Okay. Next question we have up now. Would you trade Kamara for an elite receiver like Nico or Justin Jefferson? My other running backs are CMC and Brian Robinson. Other receivers are Garrett Wilson and Devontae Smith. I'm 5-4. CJ Stroud is my QB, and this is a half PPR league.
5-4. So
you're in a playoff hunt or in the playoffs as of right now.
You're for sure in the hunt. You shouldn't be too comfortable, but at the same time, you shouldn't be too concerned. I mean, CJ Stroud is your quarterback. He's been doing good this season up to this point. Now that he's without Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs, he only has Tank Dell, so his value indirectly drops as well. But I mean, your running back core is looking promising with CMC coming back. I do like Brian Robinson a lot. I mean, your wide receiver core has Garrett and Devontae Smith, two really good wide receivers. But
I'll say you got a receiver 1 with Garrett Wilson. In my opinion, he's one of the most targeted players in the league, if not the most targeted. He's 3rd in yards right now. So you have receiver 1. I think Devontae Williams is a great receiver 2 to have. So I definitely think you have a good receiving core, in my opinion.
But you're in his position, not because you are. Do you want to make a swing for like that guy in your wide receiver core? Because Nico and Justin Jefferson, like you get that, like that's your guy. You know what I mean? And then you have CMC and Brian Robinson as your running back, so you're still very comfortable about your core there. Because like as much as I like Garrett Wilson and Devontae Smith, they definitely have some ceilings on them sometimes. Sometimes they can have some ceilings on them, and then
I would definitely say so because they're in two great like in receiver duos, but they're a part of like the receiver duo. Like
Right.
they're in great spots. I think the Eagles are a high octane offense. The Jets, they haven't maybe showed it so far, but Garrett Wilson all year has been putting up his numbers, and now their offense is about to take another step. I think those are in my opinion, two solid ones. And then especially if it's a half PPR league,
that stuff as well.
I think you stay with CMC because I think he's about to be in a high octane offense. Like that's an offense that's about to score a lot of points. You see him, he's gonna get a lot of red zone opportunities. Kamara is just in he's still gonna do him, but he's just in a little harder of a situation, I would say. Now, if you go Nico, we're hoping he comes back healthy as ever in 2 weeks.
That's the thing. If you're making that move, it has to be a Justin Jefferson. Like if we wouldn't play the specific game because in Nico Collins, like you're trading Alvin Kamara for a player that might miss a week, and you're 5-4. That's a tough line to
every
cross,
week
bro.
at this point.
Like you said, you need every week. You need all your guys to be all hands on deck. So if you could maybe package Kamara in now, I don't know who you're trading with, but if they want you to include another piece, I mean, if it's for Justin Jefferson, I still get that done, bro. Because if you can get Justin Jefferson in a lineup with Christian McCaffrey and good surrounding players like C.J. Stroud and Brian Robinson, so you don't really have no weak link in your lineup, I think you could make a run and probably go for a top 2 seed in the league, bro. So 5-4, I mean, like you said, this is the time in the season where you got to make a swing. 5-4 after 9 weeks. If you're gonna make a trade, aim for the highest possible. But if you can't get a Justin Jefferson or a top guy for Kamara, stay down with your team, keep doing your homework, and keep going, bro.
I would say, in my opinion, in your shoes, I would keep Kamara. That way you're going Kamara, CMC as your 2 running backs. That's probably the best, running back duo in your league.
For sure.
Garrett Wilson and Devontae Smith is also a really good receiving core. Stroud, hopefully, if Nico comes back, the Nico that you're expecting, then Stroud's number is going to go up as well. And, I just think that, these are 2 running backs that it's just a crazy duo. Like, we know how crazy running backs are to get and, just get great production from them on a week-to-week basis.
The running back market price in fantasy leagues is crazy because so many of them have suffered injuries so far that the ones that are left, that the price for them in trades are like twice as much, bro. You got to pay up. So trading a running back, a great running back in Alvin Kamara like that, that's tough, bro. That's a tough price. But like I said, if you could do it for a guy like Justin Jefferson, you do it 10 times out of 10. Okay. But if I were you, I'd stay down now. If I were you, a suggestion would be maybe try to look at the quarterback market and see if you can find an upgrade for Stroud for the time being, for at least the next week or two, to see when Nico Collins come back. Because that's what I did in our NU fantasy league.
Yeah.
C.J. Stroud's been my quarterback this season, but I really haven't been liking his production the past few weeks. Beginning me having weeks where he gets me 5 points, 11 points. That's not enough for my ceiling, especially since I'm a 4-5 team right now. So I scoured the market. I did a deal with Well earlier this week. I know you saw it. I've got Brock Purdy. I got Brock Purdy in the trade. I like Brock Purdy going forward.
Yeah, I do
CMC
too.
going back.
I do too.
CMC going back in that offense. I mean, that boosts everybody's stock. I know they don't have Brandon Ayuk, but they always plug and play players in that system, and they always find players to get it done. But I like Brock Purdy for the foreseeable future now. When Nico Collins does come back, it's going to be a hard decision for me to see who do I start going forward. But right now, with C.J. Stroud, with just Tank Dell, I don't know. And another thing I was disappointed with that was the Texans not making a minor wide receiver move before the deadline. I would like to see them at least address the position a little bit. I know they have some good depth receivers in Xavier Hutchinson and Robert Woods, so they good plug and play players alongside Tank Dell when there's only him as wide receiver 1. But I don't know. I would have just liked to see a little something, just a little.
I think
at least as a Stroud owner.
I think as a Stroud owner, that makes sense. But like, and just in their shoes, I think you have Diggs. He's hurt now. He will come back next year. I don't think you go overpay for another receiver or
nobody too crazy. Like something like you give like a little 5th, 6th, or 7th for it. But like you said, like who's really around the league that you're gonna make that move for? But I would just like to see them a little more active in that department.
Another fantasy question we have is with this new look Dolphins. Tua coming back. A lot of people thought Jalen Waddle. I'm sorry. And Tyreek Hill would, more specifically Jalen Waddle would maybe start to step up in points per game and just overall production, because obviously throughout this year with Tua being hurt, Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, specifically Waddle, haven't been living up to par. Is Jalen Waddle still like a fantasy wide receiver 2, or like where do we? Is he? He's going down in the rankings in a lot of people's eyes.
He's for sure going down. I mean, I still think he's relevant, but like at this point, Jalen Waddle is no more than a flex option for me. Like if I'm a Jalen Waddle owner, I can't have him more as a flex play. Because like you said, when we hoped for Tua to give him that boost once he's come back, and now Tua's been back for a couple weeks. We really haven't seen Waddle pop off the way we thought, and I don't know. This might just be the new norm for at least this season, or at least in the foreseeable future. So, if you're a Waddle owner, I mean, you gotta go at least look at the wide receiver market, see if you can make an upgrade. I don't know how much value you can even get out of Jalen Waddle himself, but overall, that's tough.
I want to say that they just went against a solid Bills team last week. They ran pretty effectively,
right?
But maybe they got to go against a team that stops to run maybe solidly well. The Bills gave up 7-6 a carry, so why would you stop running, right? So maybe we put that in perspective, but I think Waddle still can pick it up. Now, do I feel, as a Jalen Waddle owner myself, do I feel as confident as I did drafting him in the 4th round? No, I don't. But I still think there's going to be spike weeks where he can go for 6 for 90, 98, and a touchdown.
No, for sure. It's boom or bust with anybody in the Dolphins offense. Like anybody could go for a crazy week, but some players could have a dud. Like even Tyreek Hill, people that drafted Tyreek Hill this season, I know a lot of those owners are disappointed. They thought they were getting more production out of him. Now, obviously, the Tua injury was a big reason for that.
Right.
But Tyreek Hill hasn't been the Tyreek Hill we've known of, like as far as production-wise. But overall, I mean, Jalen Waddle, I think he's still a solid flex play, a solid flex player you can have in your flex. But as a wide receiver too, I'm a little concerned if that's his spot now. Like you said, we're at the point to where we have a lot of injuries to players, a lot of bye weeks. So there might be times where you have to throw Jalen Waddle in your lineup. It isn't the end of the world. You should still be confident in him. But the confidence shouldn't be overly confident like it used to be, or like it was expected going into the season.
I agree with that. So I'm sure a lot of people every week wants to know the favorite waiver wire pickups, and we're just gonna give you a few of our favorites. What's 2 of your favorites from this week or week 10 waiver wire pickups?
I mean, like we said, we're in week 10, so a lot of the guys that had major value in waiver wire are pretty much gone.
Right.
We're trying to see, like, are there any hidden gems for the rest of the season, or are there any guys that you can plug in and force somebody that has a bye week? But overall, I mean, a player I like is Xavier Legette from the Panthers. I think after they traded Mingo, after they traded Deontay Johnson and Adam Thielen, he's still dealing with an injury. I think it's time for Legette to really get an opportunity in that offense now. He still has Bryce Young as his quarterback, so the ceiling is unfortunately still capped.
But last 2 weeks he scored a touchdown.
No, he definitely scored a touchdown, but he's somebody that at least for the rest of the season, hopefully can be at least productive in that role, because he is still a rookie. You know what I mean?
He's a rookie, but it's not going to be too much competition for him. So I definitely agree with you. That's a great waiver wire pickup. Him and Bryce Young's chemistry is starting to come together. Just grabbed a win. Like, maybe, who knows?
So they're a little confident.
Maybe the confidence start to grow.
And they play the Giants too, so they could maybe get another one. Maybe.
And we know, last year Bryce Young, Adam Thielen was his favorite target. So maybe that's, it's 2 players right there that can be, solid for Bryce Young. But one of my favorites, I'm sure, as we see, Jameis Winston going to the Browns, how that's changed, what's going on there. Obviously, Amari Cooper left the receiver room, so I'm pretty sure we all know about Cedric Tillman now. If we don't, his last few weeks have been pretty insane. He's one of the best receivers fantasy-wise over the past few weeks. But if he's not available, I think Jerry Jeudy is still someone you can go pick up and be confident about. We know Winston's he's a gunslinger.
Yeah.
He's always been, he always will be. This is not a Browns team I think will have leads a lot. They're going to be relying on the pass, trying to come back into games.
Trying to get in the air.
And with, so much ability that I think Jerry Jeudy kind of still has. Like, he may not have panned out, as an Alabama receiver how he wanted to, but he's still solidly young. And then an offense that's going to have a lot of high volume, I think is a solid waiver wire pickup.
I think it's really solid, too. Like you said, if Browns, a lot of game scripts are going to be looking for them to get in the air, get points in the air, not really looking to run the ball too much. So I think Jerry Jeudy or Cedric Tillman, if he's still available, on your waiver wire, could be good ads. Another player I like is Mike Gesicki. T. Higgins will most likely miss another game for the Bengals, and overall, he's been their pretty much second option in the air outside of T, alongside Jamar Chase. So if anybody's lacking a tight end, or your tight end maybe has a bye week or dealing with an injury, I think that's a great player to pick up. Because you can never doubt on a player in the Bengals offense, you know.
Nah, yeah, especially with their high volume. Speaking of that, I think I kind of have like a 2-player stack, not really, but if you can do it, this wouldn't be a bad idea. I would say grabbing Justin Herbert and Quentin Johnston wouldn't be the worst move right now. Obviously, before this year, we knew Justin Herbert was probably going to be just a quarterback with, playing with Jim Harbaugh in that scheme. They just throw the ball a little less. They were trying to rely on J.K. Dobbins, rely on just the running back core and see how far that'll take them. But over the past few weeks, Ladd McConkey and more specifically Quentin Johnston has been some of the best, receivers in football.
Right.
The passing volume for the whole offense is going up, and both of the receivers are, benefiting from it.
No, for sure. I mean, I got Ladd McConkey. I'm a Ladd McConkey owner, so I've been having him in my flex. He's been pretty productive for me. Quentin Johnson has been better. I think he got 2 touchdowns last Sunday, so that was a good performance. I'm not sure if he can keep that up going forward, but, I mean, if you're in a deep league and you really need options, maybe even a Josh Palmer could be considered too. The Chargers, I mean, they're leaning more into their pass game. They're kind of, I wouldn't say embedded in the run.
I really like Winston, bro. I think he's starting to find his groove.
A lot of people gave him trash for his rookie year, bro. A lot of people gave him trash for a down year. I didn't really like that. I mean, he was always solid to me. He was never too crazy, but like you said, he's finding his footing, and him alongside McConkey, I mean, I think Herbert, he got some good young weapons he can lean on.
Young weapons, you feel me? Quentin's still 6'3", athletic, you feel me? He's a big play threat. You add that with big arm like Justin Herbert, that's exactly, remember Mike Williams, he's right in that Mike Williams role in 2021, 2022, you feel me? Deep balls down the field, that's where he can excel at, and I think him and Justin Herbert would be pretty good waiver wire pickups for this week.
No, for sure, I agree. But keep sending y'all questions, keep letting us know. If y'all got any questions, man, hit our Twitter, hit our Instagram. We here to save y'all season. We here to give y'all a free fantasy game. To tap in with us. Appreciate the questions that for the people that sent their questions, and appreciate that. And just keep them coming, bro. Because we here, man. We trying to save y'all season, like I said.
100%. And as someone with 6-3, I still need to be making my own waiver wire pickups. Obviously, the season is never over. The team could get better every week. That's another fantasy advice I want to give. Just never feel comfortable, never feel complacent.
Always look to get better.
You feel me? It's never about just one stretch. It's about the long run. You're trying to win the Super Bowl in your league, win it all, win some money if you're playing for money. So, like I said, you gotta take every week serious, every move serious.
Even if it's small moves, if you thinking like it's a stupid little move to make, do it. Everything matters. I'll say this: 2 years ago, after week 9, my team was 3-6. Wasn't looking too good. Was looking like the season was going to be over, and I won 8 straight weeks and made it all the way to my fantasy championship. Now, I didn't get the job done. I got blown out in the championship, but I would say going from 3-6 to a Super Bowl appearance in the fantasy championship, that's a crazy turnaround. And I will forever hang my head on that. Like that's crazy. I won 8 straight weeks. I put the work in. I did my homework. I did my due diligence. I made moves around the league, and I was never, like you said, I was never complacent. Even when my team turning around, I was active every week on the waiver wire, active with other league mates, looking to see who was available, who wasn't.
That's how you do it.
Be proactive, don't be reactive, man.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. This